What's up YouTube, and a very warm welcome back to my space. On this channel, it's all about endless storytelling as we encounter limitless possibilities. I want to tell you a story. Last week Monday, my landlord messed me up. He did to me something not so cool, and I pray none of you encounters what I encountered with my landlord last week. So it was a Monday evening. I'd gone to work, the hustle, the streets. So I'd come back at that particular afternoon. So I came back a little bit earlier than the usual days. I came back earlier at around 2 p.m. and just stick with me to the end. I'm going to be telling you why I came back earlier that particular day from work. Now, I had 3 months rent arrears at that particular point in time, and it had been a very difficult season of the year, and I wasn't really able to juggle my hustle and get enough money for my upkeep, my bills, as well as that of my landlords, the rent thing. So I'd accumulated around 3 months of rent arrears, and it was beginning to get a toll on me. So when I came back that particular Monday in the afternoon, I got 3 padlocks, 3 cold metallic huge padlocks on my door. And I know 3 months rent arrears is quite a huge thing, but really that day was not the day he was to lock my door, because that day was a special day to me. And when I got those padlocks on my door, I was really thrown off guard kabisa. I was like, what is this now? I know at this point you're wondering why I was shocked to find padlocks even after accumulating 3 months of rent arrears. It's because that particular day is the day that the lady I had been crushing for the longest time, the lady I'd loved for the longest time, had actually agreed to come and pay me a visit that afternoon. She had she had promised to come over, and we were going to have some good time, have a meal prepared by me, definitely, just do a movie and chill. So I'd chased this lady for quite a long time, and her agreeing to come to my house was quite, a big thing for me. So I'd that particular morning before I left for my hustle, I'd done what men really don't do. I'd cleaned up, I'd made sure the house was sparkling clean, and I'd made sure I'd bought new bed sheets, and I'd really made a nice recipe for that particular afternoon, in-house date. And the house, I'd even bought an air freshener, and my little bed sitter was sparklingly clean, too clean for a man's liking. But again, I wanted to impress this lady. I'll be telling you her name in a moment. So I'd done all this and made sure that everything is awesome. Then I'd gone to work. I knew that after work, I would excuse myself earlier, come back home, do a little bit, finalize on the preparations, and then wait for my girl to come over for a chill. When I came back, that's when I found those 3 padlocks. Man, I was pissed. I was furious. Of all the days that my landlord had the chance to, lock my door, he chose this Monday, the day that the love of my life, the woman after my own heart, was coming to pay me a visit. Gentlemen watching, you really feel me. You can tell the trauma that kicked in at that particular moment in time. So I remember, let me tell you how I met this lady first before we get to what happened next. I met this lady on Tinder, actually. We had matched, and then she was quite a vibe. Number one, she was very hot. Oh God, her name was Mercy, and she was really, 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 really hot. She had a very graceful height, and her eyes were, so searching, and she had quite the vibe. And we had, We had a video called at some point. We had exchanged Instagram profiles, WhatsApp contacts, and then, you know, we had gotten deeper and deeper into the connection. Right off Tinder, by the way. So Tinder works sometimes. It's not entirely a madhouse, guys. So I remember, well, there had been a back and forth when I'd suggested that, you know, we should, after talking for almost like 2.5 months, it was time to, you know, get to meet up, get to connect, and, you know, see what's doable and what's not, where this love story that was beginning the farthest it could go. And everything had been good. I'd shied away from taking her for a date to these normal fancy restaurants in town. Again, when you don't have a stable job, when you're hustling, you cannot, you know, afford rent and all these basic necessities for yourself. You really shy away from taking these women to fancy dates. So surprisingly, when I asked to connect with Mercy, she had agreed. But when I insisted on her coming over to my place, at first she was like, your place, no. But I'm a guy, so I have to push my agenda. And that particular week, that particular Monday, she had agreed. And trust me, you guys, I'd pictured this woman as, you know, the woman I wanted to be with. She was kind, soft-spoken, industrious from the vibe she gave me, and I was not letting this one go, guys. So I said she was gonna come, I was gonna prepare her favorite meal because I knew it. We're gonna do a movie, chill, and see how well this story of ours develops with time. So I was excited. I was really, really, really excited. So when this landlord of mine decided to do this, it was crazy. Anyway, at that point in time, now let's go back. I'm standing in front of the house. I'm doing that, you know, feeling the 3 padlocks, what Kibe does, you know, feeling the 3 padlocks, and I'm confused, I'm shocked. It's only 1.5 hours until Mercy starts her journey to come over to my place. How I can't convince this guy to, you know, give me just for this evening, to open the doors just for this evening. This guy was an old man who was very, you know, rude and very arrogant, and he just needed his rent money. But I was not going to, you know, let this opportunity with my Mercy go. So I decided, you know, sometimes in life you face your problems head on. You really just face them head on to avoid embarrassment. I decided to go to his house and tell him the truth that, Mr. Landlord, sir, this particular day that you locked my house was not the very best of days, because the woman after my own heart was set to visit. So I'm begging you, in the name of Jesus Christ, if you are a believer, or if you are a Muslim, Allah or whatever, kindly open the door for me just this one afternoon. You can lock it the day after today. I'm gonna hustle your rent, but this day, please, sir, save boy child. I'm a fellow man. You've been here. I have to impress this woman. Just open my door. I've never cleaned my house for over a week. If you saw me cleaning, throwing away the baggage, getting new bed sheets, I was damn serious about this lady. So I felt if I tell him the truth, he would sympathize and he would open for me, and my Mercy would come and we would proceed with the plans as earlier arranged. Whew. Off to his house, shaking, trembling, hopeful that he would play by my request and all that. So I remember when I got to his house, it was around 3:30. Unfortunately, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our good old landlord was not at home. His maid, house help, was the one that was at home. So I told the house help that, hey, look, I really want to see the landlord. There's a pressing issue that only him can, you know, address. Then the house help told me that, sorry, Socrates, the landlord, he's in his office in town. If you rush there now, there's a chance you'll get him in the office and he'll be able to sort out your issues. But if you don't go now, he usually plays golf after work, so you might not get him until tomorrow. Yeah? Tomorrow? How? And yet my Mercy should be here in an hour's time. So at that point, I used to live at Kayole, for those of you who know Nairobi County, and my landlord's office was in town, Central Business District. So if I was to take a matatu, I would delay. A matatu to his office and back, I would really delay, because then at that point Mercy shall have come. So quick mathematics, because he was not picking calls, I decided to, take an Uber with the little money I had left. Actually, the money that I was gonna use for Uber from Kayole to town was my bus fare for the following day to work. But again, something must kill a man. Something must kill a man. So nayo Uber up. I got an Uber. They requested 470 shillings. I had around 800. And I gave the Uber guy very clear-cut instructions that, dude, get me to town with the nearest route, the nearest avenue. I have an emergency in town. I need to meet somebody before they leave. So I don't know if you're gonna defy traffic rules. I don't know what you're gonna do, but hey, we have to get to town this very moment. The Uber guy was like, say no more, sir. I got you. And off we left for town. You can imagine the state I was in at this particular ride towards town, towards where my landlord's office was. Three major confusion, three major technicalities that were going through my mind. Number one, what will happen when number one? So number one, I was not sure if I was going to make it to town and back to Kayole in time before my girl Mercy arrives, And then number two, I was not sure if my landlord was going to agree to open the door for me. And then number three, I wondered how I was going to go to work tomorrow, now that, I've used my bus fare towards this Uber thing. And man, it was a charade of, confusing emotions and, jumbled up thoughts. But again, a man has to do what a man has to do. And to cut the long story short, I got to town and I quickly, located the old man's office. It was around Tom Mboya Street, directly opposite, the Odeon building. So I'm on the lift and my heart is beating and I'm like, God, now what is this? This is some really, really messed up situation. But well, I got to his office and I think on the 7th floor of that particular building. And when I walked in, he's the first person I saw. And he was, working on his laptop with these very heavy spectacles. And so he ushered me in, offered me a seat, and I explained everything to him. I told him, hey, this is my situation, sir. I know I've messed you up. I've not been paying your rent for 3 months now, but save me this one last afternoon. Give me my key. I rush back to the house. My lady is coming. I can't afford to be kicked out today. Do it tomorrow. Do it forever. But tonight, please, it's gonna be a big afternoon, a big evening for my life. Man, you can't imagine this landlord really sympathized with me, and he was like, oh God, it's true, your situation is messed up. So I don't know what angel or what God got into his heart. The guy agreed with very strict strict directives and strict grounds that, hey, I'm giving you this key, but tomorrow, if you do not have the money for the 3 months, just bring it back with the humility that you've come for it. And at this particular moment in time, let me not follow you tomorrow. Just bring the key. I wish you well with your woman. I wish you have a wonderful afternoon and have fun. Life is for the living. Socrates. I was like, And then he called the secretary to, you know, check the key in one of the drawers. House number this and this, bring me the key. I would hear this, though it was in the other room, I would hear the secretary, you know, looking for the key, and then her steps coming towards the front area of the office where we were seated. As the secretary was walking in, carrying the key to my door back at Kayole, I immediately recognized the secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the secretary was Mercy, the lady I was waiting for. The lady I'd been talking to from Tinder to Instagram to now WhatsApp. The lady I'd fallen for, and the lady I was to have a house date with this particular afternoon. She was shocked to see me, I was shocked to see her, and we remained looking at each other. And I was like, damn, why have I never asked Mercy what she does or where she works? My Mercy was the secretary to my landlord. I hope you enjoyed the story. My name is Socrates. This is my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.